In a small coastal town, nestled where the land meets the sea, lived a man named Elias. His life was tied to the ocean, not by guiding ships, but by mending them. His workshop, weathered by salt and wind, was a sanctuary for broken boats. The townsfolk knew him as a quiet man, his words as sparse as his smiles. Yet his hands were always ready to help, a silent promise to the community he served. Years ago, Elias wasn't a boat mender. He was a lighthouse keeper. His world was a beacon in the dark. But one ferocious night, the storm wasn't just in the sea, but in his own home. His young son fell gravely ill, the waves raged, the wind howled, and Elias faced an impossible choice. He left his post for just a few hours, a desperate dash to get his son to a doctor. That same night, tragedy struck. A ship lost in the tempest crashed against the unforgiving rocks. The blame fell on Elias like a tidal wave. The lighthouse was dark. They whispered. He abandoned his post. The weight of their words was heavier than any anchor. Elias never spoke a word in his own defense. He simply quit, moving his life from the towering lighthouse to his humble workshop by the shore, trading guidance for repair. He fixed the vessels that broke, perhaps as a way to fix a part of himself. Decades passed in quiet labor. Then, one evening, history began to repeat itself. Ominous clouds swarmed the sky, and the sea churned with a familiar fury. A storm, more powerful than any in recent memory, was on its way. As fishermen scrambled to secure their boats, a young boy, breathless and panicked, ran to Elias's workshop. "Sir," he cried, his voice trembling, "the lighthouse. It's broken. The light won't turn on." Elias looked towards the darkening horizon. Thunder rumbled in the distance, a deep, menacing growl. "There are still boats out there," the boy pleaded. "Without the light, they'll be lost." For a moment, Elias was frozen. The ghosts of the past, the accusations, the guilt, all washed over him. He saw the stormy sea, the crashing ship, the accusing faces. But then he saw the boy's fear, a reflection of the terror he once felt for his own son. He grabbed his old worn coat. "I'll go," he said, his voice steady for the first time in years. The path to the lighthouse was a treacherous battle against the elements. The wind fought him with every step. The rain felt like needles on his skin. And the colossal waves crashed against the cliffs below, threatening to swallow the very ground he walked on. Inside the lighthouse, time had not been kind. The machinery was rusted and stubborn, the great lamp damaged. With hands that shook not from fear but from urgency, Elias went to work. He knew that out in the churning chaos, lives depended on him. Finally, after a desperate struggle against rust and time, a flicker. And then a brilliant, powerful beam of light sliced through the suffocating darkness, a sword of hope against the storm's tyranny. Out on the water, the lost and struggling boats saw it. They turned their bows towards its steady pulse, following the light like a lifeline back to safety. They survived. By morning, the storm had exhausted its fury. The sun rose over a calm sea. On the shore, a scene of joyous relief unfolded. Fishermen embraced their families, their faces etched with gratitude. Children's laughter once again filled the air. A whisper started, then grew louder. He saved us. It was Elias. The town leader, a man who had known Elias for years, walked up to him. His face was filled with a deep, long overdue understanding. "We were wrong," he said, his voice thick with emotion. "All those years ago, you had to save your son." Elias gazed out at the tranquil sea, the memories no longer a crushing weight, but a distant echo. "My son survived," he replied softly, "but that night I lost my courage." The leader placed a hand on his shoulder. "No, Elias," he said. "You never lost it. You just carried it quietly." From that day forward, Elias was no longer just the boat mender. He became the lighthouse keeper once more. But this time, he wasn't just a man in a tower. He was a symbol of quiet strength, a reminder that true courage isn't about never falling. It's about rising again to be the light in someone else's storm. Thanks for watching. If this story moved you, please like and subscribe for more.